You're listening and watching to the New Eden update for Tuesday, March 15th, 2016. I'm Wiggles and here's a roundup of a few stories from around New Eden. We start today with the news of the Citadel release date, and it will be April 27th, 2016. Quote, outposts and stations were the tools you used to bring the universe under your control. It is time to set the sights on grander ambitions. Citadels are a massive player-created cities in space, dwarfing almost everything in the empires have ever constructed. These monuments to the might and power of the capsuleers make excellent trade hubs, hangar and residential quarters, and defensive stations. Medium, large and extra-large citadels, the Astra House, the Fort Tsar and the Keepstar, respectively, which the largest of which is massive enough to offer super capital docking bays, module slots for allowing weaponry, electronic warfare and rigging components to be installed, modular constructions to add market or clone upgrades, compression systems and other facilities, ship tethering to provide security for friendly ships close to the Citadel, granting safe passage in and out of the structure. Excuse me there. Unlimited personal and corporate hangars providing residence for even the largest of alliances. Multiple undock points, including separate capital, large and the Citadel and the Forts, and super capital, extra large Citadel Keepstars, undock areas, prevent traffic at busy hubs. Each Citadel has a weekly maintenance period where a recalibration is handled. The larger the Citadel, the larger number of maintenance window, and during its time the Citadels are vulnerable to attack. The cost of constructing a Citadel can range from 700 million ISK to over 120 billion ISK depending on the size of the Citadel and its amenities, for a trivial price for a fortified city among the stars. Next today we have the post from the role-playing community that the Jove Directive are withdrawing from the Concord Inner Circle. Breaking news from the Uli constellation. In a stunning development, Concord Inner Circle President Seri Okinara has just announced the formal withdrawal of the Jove Directive from the Concord Inner Circle, with the Society of Conscious Thought designated as the full successor state of the Jove Empire for the purpose of the Concord Assembly and Inner Circle. Speaking to the role of the Society of Conscious Thought in Concord, President Okinara said the following. Quote, the Society of Conscious Thought has been in regular contact with the representatives of the Jovian Decorate, and as one would expect as an organisation within its origins, the Jove Empire. In recent years, the Jovian Directorate has indicated to the Inner Circle and the Society that it wishes to step back from its foundational role of the Concord Assembly and the institution of the Inner Diplomacy. In the last few months, the final determination was made that the Jovian Directorate would designate the Society of Conscious Thought as its full successor state and purposes of Concord. Following the transfer of key Jove corporations into the Society of Conscious Thought, this historic event brings a final close to the involvement of the Jove Empire in New Eden's astropolitical scene, while catapulting the Society of Conscious Thought to a place of more prominent order and magnitude beyond its previous and considerable and much speculated importance in the affairs of New Eden. You can read more about this at the link in the show notes. Our only news post today from the big 3 or 4 news sites comes from Matani.com. It is about being a newbie in EVE Online. EVE is the toughest game I've ever played. Consequently, I've always found it to be one of the most rewarding in its equal parts of elation and success and soul-crushing loss, wrapped in a pretty space opera package. Even for a game well past a decade of existence, few can say that it hasn't kept up with the graphical draw of what a space game should look like. The game has a level of appeal. There is no doubt, but EVE Online has a bit of a reputation. EVE Online is difficult, and as a new player, EVE is not fun. Now, as you sit there and ponder the necessity of grabbing a pitchfork and burning this humble writer for the stake, for daring to disparage the sanctity of the internet spaceships, I would like to say flat out that I don't believe for 1 minute that I've been playing the game. Don't believe that for 1 minute. I've been playing the game for over 12 years and it's simply not fun at any level. So I'm going to try for myself. I will start the game as fresh as I possibly can. In this little project, I'm going to create a new character, and I won't be using Plex or skill injectors or borrowing this from my main account. Unfortunately, I cannot unlearn the lessons I already know from years of playing the game, but this is not going to be a teaching experience. You can learn what I know from following the advice of others and sifting through the various guides. Instead, I want to tell you about a story of how enjoyable the game can be right off the bat, by simply being open to everything and trying my best to embark on the risks in the game. This will be a chance to tell stories about how people treat a new player making their way into this most massive of MMOs. Now, the post goes on into detail the first things a newbie can learn and some of the basic things. And also I wanted to let you know that this is part of a 3-part series. This is part number 1, so I do recommend checking out the whole post. Elsewhere in EVE-related content, new blog posts out today from Rick Javix, Lubto Kong, and some comic relief for Tuesday from Gevlin Goblin. New podcast out from your boy Jeff Raider with another great Jeff Raider show and a whole gaggle of guests of streamers. Plex prices in the Forge region today are registering in the average traded price of 1,126,000,000 ISK so far today, which is down about 10 million from yesterday's closing average of 1,136,000,000. The top buy order in Jita just before the show was 1,117,000,000, and sell orders were starting at 1,125,000,000. Skill extractors are trading at 261,000,000 ISK, which is down 2 million ISK from yesterday's closing average of 263. Buy orders are starting at skill extractors at 256, and sell orders are starting at 259 million. Skill injectors, on the other hand, are trading at 611 million ISK, which is down 3 million from yesterday's average of 614 million. Buy orders on those are starting at 614, and sell orders are starting at 616. Thank you for you and you and you and everyone else out there who has chosen to support this show and decided they get some value from it and wanted to give a little bit back. As you probably do know if you've listened to this show before, or if you haven't, we do run a Patreon campaign to help us fund the cost of hosting the site and pretty much hardware upgrades, things like this. For example, my new processor, some of the money to that came from you guys, so I thank you. You can go to patreon.com/wiggles to find out about the way you can support the show via Patreon. Now, I do understand everyone can't afford to support the show monetarily. What you can do elsewise is let people know about the show. Tell your friends on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Tweetfleet, in-game. Just let them know on your corp forums, say the show's out there, and let people know. You can find every single way to help at newedenupdate.com/support. This show is broadcast live on Twitch and YouTube while we record it for the podcast. And I as always ask, if you have any feedback, please let us know by emailing us, which is feedback@newedenupdate.com. You can also leave a comment in the show blog, newedenupdate.com. Click on the specific episode and leave a comment. You can also send us a tweet if you do that at Twitter on @NewEdenUpdate. So it's @NewEdenUpdate, sorry. I do also encourage you to go and check out all the latest headlines you can find, the podcast, the blog posts, and other information like Twitch streamers who are live, Reddit posts, dev posts, RP posts, forum blogs. All that you can find over at our sister site, which is TotalEve.com. And this has been your New Eden update for Tuesday, March 15th, 2016. I am Wiggles, and we will be back tomorrow. Thank you very much for spending the time to listen to us.